I'm Mike.
And I'm Matt.
And this is The Coin Show. On episode 161 of the Coin Show podcast, we answer a couple of listener questions. We talk about some of the stuff that's going on in our world. I kicked the living crap out of Matt and the coolest thing to walk into my shop this week. And, as always, the news.
Let's do the theme for the news.
I love that new news theme.
It's fancy, isn't it?
It's awesome. It gets me fired up. The news is brought to you by light bulbs. Putting candle makers out of business for over 140 years. Light bulbs.
I love that one. That's a good one.
So, the COVID-19 pandemic marches on, and the world is trying to find ways to recover, not only physically, but psychologically. So just like plants that seek out sunlight, people are trying to find ways to be productive and active even while sheltering in place.
Yes, sir.
PCGS is considering members-only shows to fill in their show calendar for the year. Now, how do you feel about that, Matt?
I mean, if it's done responsibly, I guess it's okay, but it's still kind of risky considering the age group likely to attend these shows.
Well, and in that, I wonder, can it be done responsibly? I mean, think about this. I get it. Numismatics can do a lot of business through like non-contact means, right? But there's some coins and notes that just don't realize premiums that they deserve unless they can be seen in hand.
Right.
And if they won't fetch the correct prices, they'll either sell for too little, which will hurt the overall value of the market, or not be offered at all, which can hurt the current owners as well as the consignment houses. So, everything has an impact beyond the initial. And those impacts, and have impacts, and the ripple continues out. But at what point do we say that the risk is worth it? Because COVID doesn't care if you're a PCGS member.
Right. That's exactly right.
Any type of gathering, that attracts people from great distances is going to be the most dangerous of all of them.
Yep, I agree completely.
And then you mentioned, the typical age group of this. And,
the demographic of this show is probably 60 plus.
That's a bad demo for this virus.
Right. I mean, it just is what it is. I mean, there's people you gotta, just like I said, it's just got to be done responsibly. I mean,
I admire the attempted innovation, right? I think that the innovation is great, but I think that we have to just keep in mind keep in focus what is in at stake here.
Right. Everybody wants to get back to work. Everybody wants to get back to going to coin shows. I mean,
yes. And I will tell you this, I think that people being cooped up has actually helped the hobby because people are getting back to things like coin collecting and reading and things that they haven't been able to do.
Sure.
Because, they have opportunities for other things.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely helped retail sales too, as far as that goes, but I mean, you can't have this forever. It would be the end of the coin market as we know it if this went on like this.
I'll tell you what, if it goes on, for that, it's more than the end of the coin market.
Right, exactly.
So, I mean, I think we got bigger problems if it continues much longer.
I agree with you 100%, Mike.
You're exactly right, Matt.
Oh, I love it. That's a better one than the one I have. I'm going to keep that one.
I know. That said, the Whitman Summer Baltimore show has been canceled.
Womp womp. That's a good show, too.
Now the show website posted this. Part of Maryland's contingent strategies include restricting public access to state buildings and controlling public events. Widman's Expo manager, Lori Kraft, also added that social distancing is a crucial part of Maryland's strategy for flattening the hospital capacity curve. And I couldn't agree more. I think that that's kind of the thing, is that we have to keep the real problem in focus, keep headed, towards what we've got to do, and understand that our actions will have an impact one way or the other.
Yep, I agree. But it sucks. I mean, again, just like I've said 20 times already, it sucks, but it's kind of what we got to do. So.
Well, yeah. I mean, look, I realize people are out there, they're hurting.
Yep.
These are small business people that are getting hurt, and they're mostly self-employed. And, so yeah, it makes a big impact.
Yeah, for sure.
A proof 1883 Liberty Head Gold Eagle will come up for auction this June. Proof gold from the 19th century is some of the rarest stuff in U.S. coinage. Many mintage numbers are double digit, and this piece is no exception. A mintage of 40 and a survival of less than 20 are known. So this particular piece is exceptionally rare.
Who's selling this? Heritage Stacks?
This one is Stacks Bowers, June, and let's see, it's Proof 64 Ultra Cameo NGC. There are 4 graded by NGC as Ultra Cameo. 2 are 64s and 2 are 65s. So it's funny if you read this article and listen to the tap dancing that they say about it, because it's actually the lowest graded of the Ultra Cameos. But it's still an Ultra Cameo.
Sure, so, yeah.
But it's interesting to watch the way they kind of dance, because they're always like, an amazing coin, the most fabulous, with none higher. It's like with only 2 higher. Well, there's only 2 coins higher, but they don't mention that.
Right.
Anyways, but it's an amazing coin, and it should go for big money.
Yeah, this is out of my ballpark even. I like this stuff. I've owned some proof gold, but never any Ultra Cameos of that early type stuff.
Well, if you're going to own something, this is what you want to own. But I mean, this is exactly why I really can't collect the coins I want.
I think I'd rather have a house versus what this.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's kind of the point. It's like you got to have what we used to call FU money.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's like they have a coin like this. So
pretty much.
Yeah. And Matt, I couldn't help myself. Okay.
Oh God.
PCGS is offering a limited number of Apollo 13 50th anniversary inserts for 2019 Apollo 11 commemorative coins in silver, gold, or clad.
Is it a real Fred Hayes autograph?
Well, I think it's a reproduction, but the inserts do feature Fred Hayes, Fredo, in both his signature and his likeness, and the commemoration of the 50th anniversary of Apollo 13 on April 11th, 1970.
I don't know.
The label is only offered for sale through the Astronauts Memorial Foundation, and you can purchase them by visiting their website at www.amfcse.org. The foundation was founded in the wake of the Challenger accident in 1986. They honor and memorialize astronauts who have sacrificed their lives for the nation and the space program, so a very worthy cause.
I think they might be real autographs, actually.
That's possible. I mean, Fred Hayes is still alive.
It says, with special Apollo 13th anniversary inserts, each autographed by lunar module pilot Fred Hayes to commemorate his historic mission.
Now, my question is, where's Jim Lovell? Because he's still alive. He's 92.
Well, maybe he doesn't care to be involved in this.
It's usually not that. It's usually something else like dementia or something else. So I don't know. I'm just saying, and I don't wish ill of the man. I just think that there's probably some reason why because he was the mission commander.
Sure.
And he was, I also think, the last person to set foot on the moon.
I didn't know that. That's interesting.
Yeah, but here's the thing where I can't help myself, and this is where people, Mike, you're a bad guy. Okay, but the irony is killing me, because the coins have to be Apollo 11 coins, and in order to get this insert, right?
Sure.
And the featured device on the coin is what?
The footprint, the guy who didn't step on the
moon. From a guy that never set foot on the moon. That just doesn't, whatever.
Yeah, he's closer than you and I will ever be. So,
dude, yeah, I mean, he circled the moon.
That's close enough for me.
Yeah. He got as close as Michael Collins did.
That's right.
But it's just the irony. I love that kind of stuff. So
you and your irony.
I love irony. The United States Mint has resumed operations in San Francisco. Now, the Mint at San Francisco resumed operations May 4th, utilizing a reduced staff in order to maintain social distancing. The Mint had been temporarily suspended since March 17th. New safety measures will be implemented, including mandatory masking of all persons in the facility, cleaning of the facility every weekend. That sounds kind of normal, as well as increased wipe downs of commonly used areas daily, and a comprehensive response plan should an employee become potentially exposed to the virus. Of all those things, I think the most important is the last one.
Yeah.
So that they know what to do in case it happens. I don't think that there were many people that were actually aware of the San Francisco Mint shutdown outside of California. Their primary production is metals and proof coins and commemoratives and a small number of circulation strike quarters being the only real coins they make, even if they aren't for circulation.
Yeah, I guess I wasn't even aware of it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, so people paid attention when West Point was closed because bullion supplies got slowed.
Right.
And that affects people today. We have all year to buy proof sets and kebabs. And yet, 250,000 clad proof sets have managed to sell over the past 9 weeks that the Mint was closed.
Well, that's just, again, people being stuck in their house with nothing to do but browse the Mint website.
Well, apparently the fulfillment center was stocked, right?
Right. Well,
so, unlike the silver proof sets. CoinNews.net reports that it was the Mint's top selling product over that period. But let's face it, there's no silver eagles, no silver proof sets. Sounds kind of like being the world's tallest midget.
I like that. I like that analogy, Mike. That was a good one.
Silver proof sets do remain unavailable, but I would expect to see more now that the Mint is back up and running.
Right.
Had this happened about 3 months later in the year, we may have had a key date.
Yeah, I wouldn't. If it was later in the year, I wouldn't expect them to resume production.
Which means we would have been stuck with a production of 190,000, just under 191,000.
Right.
And that would have spiked the prices. It would have been one of those 99 proof sets all over again.
Yeah, for sure.
And with the production of all Mint facilities online, the U.S. Mint has announced their product schedule through June of this year. You're looking forward to those basketball clad $half, Matt, aren't you?
1,000%.
Yeah, I thought so. I don't see much of anything in this schedule. And I'll imagine they'll post more updates as they figure it out and really aren't committing to anything at this point. Because, if you look, there's just the basketball commems, there's the end of World War II commem, and the women's suffrage centennial. That's it.
Yeah, I think like everybody else, they're kind of up in the air about everything.
Right. So, but what I'm saying is that they're not saying that there's not going to be, they're not saying that there's going to be a coin and currency set this year. Right. They're not saying that it's just,
they're also not saying that there isn't, but they're just,
right.
Maybe they won't get to it. Maybe they will.
And speaking of, the design for the women's suffrage centennial silver medal has been announced. And I have to read this straight from the Coin Week article because I just can't make as much sense out of this as they did. I'll have to thank Charles. Developed in conjunction with the 2020 Women's Suffrage Centennial Silver Dollar, this limited edition 99.9% silver medal will accompany the silver dollar celebrating the 100th anniversary of the ratification of the 19th Amendment. So what it's saying is that this is a silver medal that's going to come with the silver dollar.
Huh. Well, that's kind of cool. That's definitely
or offered alongside. The word accompany, so I don't think it's going to be sold separately.
Developed in conjunction. Well, it says developed in conjunction. I don't necessarily... Oh, it will accompany the silver dollar. Huh.
Will accompany the silver dollar celebrating the 100th. That's why I say I had to read it straight from there because I couldn't make it make sense like that. So what they're saying is that it will accompany the silver dollar. Now, they haven't announced the silver dollar. There's nothing on the product schedule. There's none of that stuff.
Right. Huh.
But the Centennial medal is on the product schedule.
Yeah, I mean that's interesting. So at least there's that, and I can't. I was just sitting here trying to think of if I ever remembered a time when they put out a coin and a metal like that at the same time in the same kind of packaging, and I can't really
Yeah,
think
I
of any.
think that. Well, I mean, how many of these have they done that they've done in strictly one metal? Because I think that's a more of a recent phenomenon. That for the most part, what they've done in the past has been, they'd make a gold and a silver,
Right, sure.
right? And now they're not really doing that anymore. So maybe they're trying to entice people a little bit more by maybe offering an additional. Who knows?
I mean, it's 999 silver. It's not like it's some junk metal piece.
Right, but they're also not saying what size it's going to be.
Right. They're also not saying how much it's going to cost either.
Well, that's a given. So I wanted to share an interesting post on the Numismatic News website regarding the process of submitting an idea for a new U.S. coin design. Patrick Heller wrote a really great article, and if you're a budding artist, I would send you to the numismaticnews.net website to check it out. First, he really focuses you on the correct doors to knock on, pointing out that the best way to get a design on a coin is not through the mint, but rather through a member of Congress.
Right.
As all coins are authorized by some legislation,
Right.
and in that legislation is dictated what is required to be included in the design. So you can almost have legislation that targets your design, to get it on the coin. And I don't know, I must have had a talking heads moment. You may ask yourself, this Patrick Heller guy sounds like he knows how this is done. Why would that be? Well, it turns out that he wrote a column in October of 2016 with suggestions for what he thought might be good on coinage. And at the top of his list was historic inventions by state.
There you go.
2.5 months later, James Himes of Connecticut introduced H.R. 770, which became the American Innovation Coin Act. Heller goes on to offer his email for people that would like to send him suggestions. I know that Matt and I have suggestions, but most of them involve not minting any more dollar coins until they stop making dollar bills.
Hey, funny how that. Funny how you and I are always on the same page with that one.
Yeah, with that one we are in lockstep.
There's one thing we agree on in this entire planet, and that might be it.
No, there's a couple of things, but that's definitely one of them.
Right.
A new discovery in the coin world. This is really cool. A very rare bicentennial quarter off metal error with a double denomination was recently certified by NGC.
Neat. That's cool.
So apparently a 1967 dime somehow found its way into a tub of proof blanks for quarters at the San Francisco Mint in the period of July of 1974 through 1976 when the proof coins were being minted.
Did you put any error quotes around that supposedly?
I did.
Okay. We're not looking at it right now.
I somehow found its way. That was what I said.
Okay.
So it's so this is a classic example of something being done on purpose and likely smuggled out of the mint.
Yeah, during that period for sure. That's when a lot of that stuff was going on.
Think about this. There's at least a 7-year gap in between the time the dime was minted and the time it was smashed by the quarter dice.
Right.
So, I mean, that's a long period of time and likely not something that was done by accident. The fact that it's a struck coin makes it unlikely enough. But then when you make it a 7-year-old coin, now the one thing is that this was auctioned by the state of California. So I do wonder if it came from the San Francisco Mint, from their property.
I don't know. I've been hearing rumblings about this collection for a while, and I'm not quite sure where it came from. I know that the Treasury, I think the Treasury or maybe the Secret Service,
the Secret Service, yeah, they cleared the coins as legal to own.
Yeah, so I mean, I guess they weren't too concerned about that particular point, but
that's kind of why I have a problem with them, because unless this came from the San Francisco Mint property, there's no way it should be legal to own.
Well, I mean,
if this came from some private source, it had to have been brought from the mint. I don't know.
I owned a nickel one time that was it was like maybe it was a 2000 or a 1999 nickel that was struck on a 1967 penny. I mean, I own that coin. So I mean, they do exist. They're out there.
But I think that the long gap in between one striking the other points more towards it being done on purpose.
Oh, certainly. I think mine was done on purpose too. But I'm just saying that there are other examples of this kind of stuff that do surface, and there's enough, I think, plausible deniability that, maybe the coin was just stuck in a piece of the machinery and fell out years later. There's also...
Well, therein lies the great thing. It's the plausible deniability.
Yeah. That's the thing, is it's possible that it could have happened naturally at the mint. Though very unlikely, there is still that possibility, and that's why I think they released this kind of stuff.
Chances of this happening organically.
I agree. I'm totally on your page with that one, but that's what I think that's the argument that they use.
And finally in the news, Charles Morgan at Coin Week asked if anyone had a Chipotle token lying around.
Chipotle token?
And this is such a coin collector thing to do. I remember trying to assemble a complete date set of Chuck E. Cheese tokens as my kids were playing in the ball pit.
That doesn't surprise me.
Well, they have years on them, so what are you going to do with them? Other than, I sit there, I got 500 tokens in my hand, so okay, let's start sorting them by date. Are there any varieties? I got an uncirculated set for this year, and that was fun.
Chipotle tokens, jeez.
Yeah, he was basically pointing out the fact that these exist. I didn't even know they exist, but I'm not a huge Chipotle fan.
Me neither.
But they have years on them, so yeah, why wouldn't you collect them?
Let's take a look. Let's all look together on eBay. I'm kind of curious here.
Let's take a poke. Let's see what happens.
Let's just take a look here. Look at that.
I finally got this worked out to where I can see what you're showing the world.
Definitely out there.
Oh yeah, there's no question about it.
And they're between $10 and $30. Buy it now. Looks like.
Well, there's one with a hole in it. That's the top listing. It's like, come on, really?
Weird.
So everything we took in. It's funny because one of my coworkers has been just all up and down my butt because I'm mad that somebody drilled a hole in a silver Hall of Fame dollar.
Weird.
And I'm mad about it. But she's like, would you just get over that? Because I was complaining about it last week, and I'm complaining about it again today. She's like, get over it.
Wow, what a strange thing. I never even knew about Chipotle tokens, yet there they are.
And like I said, I had never seen them before. My daughter frequents Chipotle and still never knew about them. So, yeah, that's just fun. So that's the news. And the news, as always, is brought to you by the patrons and the people that rock our world and help us with what we do. Thank you. We love you. And also brought to you by Light Bulbs, putting candle makers out of business for over 140 years. Light Bulbs.
I like that one. That one's good.
They're malicious, if you ask me. It's just...
Oh, boy. Let me...
So we have a lot of activity tonight.
Yeah, we really do. I was just noticing that.
We got questions. We got people watching the show live. Yeah. I think they're finally getting used to that idea.
I think we're finally getting used to that.
Maybe they figured out a way to black out the screen. I can just see them with a little,
they just put their hand up.
Part of the screen.
Yeah. They just put their hand up like this, or just put their headphones on, and turn around. That's what I would do if I had to look at me.
It's just as good as the other show that way. Right. So yeah, we have some listener questions if you want to take a shot at them.
Yeah, let me rattle through the chat here, and why don't you look at the email and see if there's any in there, and we'll meet back here.
You do that.
I'll have a question here.
All right, so I've got a question from Daniel Borowitz.
Go for it, shoot.
And he says, "Hi, I love the podcast.
Thank you.
Looking for a recommendation on coin collecting software. I have a small collection, but would like to record the value of the collection. Looking for software that would give me a value after it's entered, by coin and grade US coins. There are a couple of different softwares out there, but understand that any type of software that you use, unless it's tied to like Graysheet or something that is constantly being adjusted, that the values are only going to be relative, kind of like the Red Book.
Right. They're not going to be real.
Right.
That's just the quick and dirty way to put it.
As long as you can live with that, then Coin Elite still makes their software.
you go.
I liked it. It's really easy to catalog stuff with it. You can put pictures in it, descriptions. It gives you different ways of grouping stuff. It gives you sales data and stuff. It's really good.
I've never used it, so that's all on you, buddy. I use spreadsheets.
Well, and that's the thing that I would say is that spreadsheets are still going to be the best way to do it. I mean, they just are. It's like Microsoft has made this wonderful world of Excel for you, and Coin-Elite just kind of, it gives you a lot of pull down menus. That's pretty much it. They did all that, but you still have to put everything in. So
yeah. Let me see if I can
let's see.
Question here.
Yeah, go ahead.
David Hollister asks, what do you guys think about the massive 2020p Silver American Eagle debacle? More plastic collecting? ?
I love this question.
Go for it. It's all yours.
Okay, well, then, here it comes with both barrels.
Go for it. I think that's what the people want, buddy.
Well, I think that's what they pay the money for, right? So, it is not a debacle. It is something that goes on every single year. The Philadelphia Mint supplements the West Point Mint in supplying Silver Eagles. They always have. They probably still always will. It's just that this year people knew that West Point was shut down. And so because of that, they looked at some of the monster boxes and they said, oh, we could trace these to Philadelphia. And they were able to trace them through the lot numbers on the monster boxes. So you get one of those, slabs that has the parentheses around the P Mint mark. And they were around in 2011, 2012, 2013, I think.
Didn't they have some that were supposed to be W's, but they figured out they weren't W's and
that was, that was what I was always expecting to happen. But I look, even absent that, right? These were made at West Point, and these are made at Philadelphia. If you take the coin out of the holder and you resubmit it, what do you get back?
Philadelphia, for sure.
You get a generic Eagle. That's it. There is no distinguishable. There's no distinguishing mark between the two coins. There's no way to tell the difference. I believe in his Facebook comment, he asked, about how does this compare to like the 95W and the 19S? Both of those are distinct coins.
Yes, you can
there's
look at the coins and they're different.
And there's a 95W. The 95W is the 95W. There's 31,000 of them. That's it. They're easily distinguished. The 19S, there's, what is there, 30,000 of them?
Something like that, yeah.
And that's it. But they have an S on them.
Right.
So
you can look at the coin
and
physically tell the difference. So that's what makes it special.
So what you're buying in any other case is plastic. And we've always said, don't buy the slab, buy the coin. I don't think it could be any more crystallized than by that.
Sure, 100%. I agree.
Slab bullion is slabbed bullion, and although it has a market now, it doesn't mean it always will. It's not rare. It will never be rare. And as soon as it becomes super valuable, somebody's going to pull an entire monster box out and have it certified, and the population is going to go up.
All right. Yeah, for sure. I agree.
The supply of them is there's just too many of them.
Let's see. Corey says, hey guys, quick question about Civil War tokens. I have been mostly a currency collector, but am drawn to the history and nostalgia of the Civil War tokens and store cards. What are some tips for grading these, because they sure seem tricky? Secondly, do clips in the planchette or other errors add to the value of the tokens? Thanks. I can answer that question.
Please.
The one thing you have to understand about Civil War tokens is that they were not produced in the U.S. Mint. They're produced in private mints. So the quality control, the machinery, everything was not up to the same standard as the U.S. Mint was in 1860. In the 1860s. So you have,
and that includes the skill of the people that carved the dies.
Right. The die makers, the die cutters, even the dies themselves are inferior. A lot of the times the die steel was soft. A lot of the times they would use the dies until they just absolutely could not use them anymore. There's the famous I think it's Broas Brothers pie makers coins. They're famous for being heavily clashed and broken and just absolutely used until they could not be used anymore in Civil War tokens. And you see people trying to pass them off with big premiums all the time as being like, oh, shattered die, major clash. But you know what? Like half of them are that way. So don't pay a big premium for those because that's how they were made. Um, and then the other part of the question was, do clips in the planchet or other errors add to the value? Aside from like a major off center, I would say no, not really, because again, that rolls back to the quality control that you run into at these private mints. Some of them are made really well. Some Civil War tokens are made to the quality of United States Mint coins, but other pieces were very, very crude and rudimentary in their construction and their production. So.
And I would say that it is because of the high quality of United States Mint coins that the errors are so collectible, the clips and the things like that.
Right.
And because exactly as you put it, the value really isn't there in the normal coins, you know, or the quality control isn't there in the normal coins. So the errors just don't garner a lot of interest.
Yeah, like I said, unless they're like
example, you know,
Oh, go ahead. I was gonna say I just sold an off-center Civil War token not too long ago. It was like 50% off-center, and I think it brought $40. I mean,
wow.
Yeah, I mean, but the thing is, there's just so many of them out there. There's just so many funky error, die crack, CUD, Civil War tokens that it's just not unusual.
Well, you know that I've spent my nose in a bunch of Civil War tokens over the last couple of weeks.
Yes, you have.
Taking a crash course on that. And what I will tell you is I found it very interesting that you have store cards, you have Civil War tokens, you have Sutler tokens, and then you have a bunch of Hard Times tokens that people mistake for Civil War tokens.
Yep.
So it's like you've got that whole genre in there, and it's really, really interesting stuff, and it's really cool, very collectible, and it really will put your grading skills to a test.
Oh, they're super hard to grade. I mean, and I don't even think the
figuring
grading
out where versus strike, particularly on a VF coin.
Yeah, I don't even think the grading companies get them right half the time, just because some of them are so hard. I mean, some of those coins came out of their their respective mints as pancakes. They look like XF coins, even though they're freshly struck mint state coins. So that's just has a lot to do with production and really, really knowing the nuances of certain tokens that you see. So I mean, it's hard. They're hard to grade. I don't ever try to claim to be any good at grading Civil War tokens.
Sure.
Let's see. Any other questions?
All right. So I have a question from J. Nick Davies.
Okay.
And Nick writes, "Hi guys, a question about supplies here.
Okay.
I've been using an unbranded eBay purchased loop since 2006.
Okay.
This week I decided to look into an upgrade, and I'm overwhelmed by brands, magnification, price, lenses, and other factors that websites and forums cite as important. I'm learning a lot from sources that specialize in horology, geology, dentistry, and jewelry, but have yet to find a good source for loops in regards to numismatics. Are you two able to provide any guidance on this topic? Oh boy, are we. Is one magnification used most commonly? Does a brand make a difference? If so, is brand X 10 times the same, better, or worse than brand Y 30 times? And if you really know this rabbit hole, can you talk about the loops and glass that corrects blurriness, red and blue halos, and distortion?"
Oh boy. Do you know what glass do you use at work, Mike?
I use a Bausch & Lomb.
Really? You use
I do.
Little fancy one, huh?
Well, no, it's not so much fancy as I wanted to make sure that the distortion was a minimum. And because, so much of a coin dealer's living is made by what he sees, to me, it was worth it to spend $35 on a loop.
Yeah.
It's not a ton of money. It's now the other thing is that my loop is 10 times.
Right.
That's it.
Yep. I don't use any more than 10. I actually have one of mine here in front of me. And you guys are going to laugh at me, but this is the loop I use every day. And this is one of those Harris 10X loops that you can buy at pretty much any coin show for 10 or $15. I mean, this is all you really need. I don't use anything else. I have a Zeiss. I mean, I have like a $150 loop.
Now there is an expensive. See, that I didn't do.
But you know what? You know how many times I've used that Zeiss? Like 4.
How many?
Like 4 times.
Or does it make a difference? Because that is in his question.
I mean, not enough to justify spending $150 on it.
Unless you're a coin dealer.
Not even. I'm a coin dealer, Mike. Don't you remember these things? I would not spend that money on that loop. I would never buy another one just because it is nicer. It is a little more clear, but
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
I will tell you that my Bosch
not enough to justify the money.
Absolutely crystal clear, no distortion. The colors come through it really nice. That was kind of what I was looking for, edge to edge.
Yeah, I mean, for $35,
really it's just a quality loop. That's it. But like I said, you don't have to spend a lot of money on it. Now, the one thing that I will tell you, since I was just kind of shopping for them, is that you'll see a lot of really small loops.
Yeah, those little teeny ones. I don't like those.
I wouldn't recommend them. You shouldn't be squinting to look through your loop.
Yeah, like I said, this one here, I got like the size of my eye. So I mean, it's what
I'll tell you what. The other one that we sell a lot of in the shop is the Bosch and Lomb that just clicks into the box, the 5 times.
Yeah, I mean, I know a lot of paper dealers that use those. I mean, I in a day at the office, I might use my loop 3 or 4 times because I naked eye most everything we look at. And I only hit it with the loop if I see something that I want to investigate a little further. It might be damage, might be PVC, might be something like that. That's really the only reason I look at a coin with a loop is to investigate something I've seen with my naked eye further. So I don't loop every coin. I loop very few coins actually.
We have an instant question in the chat.
Go for it.
Barry Swan asks a weird question, but one I've always wondered. Why are so many common modern coins in slabs? I can't imagine that a person would submit, say, a 2015 Lincoln cent, but you see them in the bargain boxes. It shows all the time. One word for you: registry.
Bulk.
That's
bulk
it.
Submissions.
They're just bulk submissions looking for registry hits. They're looking for high-end coins that they can sell for enough money to pay for all the submissions that they've done. And sometimes they hit, sometimes they miss. There are guys that play that game. But all the other stuff ends up in the bargain boxes.
Right.
And that's why you have $2 coins that are in slabs.
If you call the grading company and say, hey, my name's so-and-so, and I have 500 of these coins that are exactly the same that I want to go send through to get graded, they're going to say, okay, so-and-so, well, we can do those for you at $6 a coin straight through. Send them, we'll get them done, and they'll be done.
And then you can even tell them, slab everything from this grade up and just send the rest back to me raw.
Oh, well, sir, if you'd like to do that, they'll be $10 a coin.
That's fine, but you can still do that.
I know, you can still do that. But yes, that's exactly how those coins get created. That's exactly how a lot of the mass marketers...
Silver Eagles get done.
Yeah, that's exactly how a lot of the mass marketers get their coins made. And it's just a quantity discount. I mean, they do offer that. Both the major companies offer that discount. So
Hercules is saying, why are y'all on the wrong side? It's messing me up, man.
We use about...
We traded places.
We did. We use about 5 different pieces of software to make this show. And one of our pieces of software just decided all of a sudden it wanted to flip-flop
on its own.
We didn't do anything. It just decided it wanted to flip-flop our
and Matt couldn't figure out how to get it back.
There was no getting it back. There was no getting it back. So it just did it.
So I kind of feel like the Brady Bunch. Now I can turn around and look at them like this.
You have to look this way.
Oh, I have to look this way?
Yep, this way.
Hey, how you doing, Matt?
What's up? Hey.
Doing it. Let's see. So let's see. So yeah, that was Barry's question. So I mean, that's pretty much it.
Got any more in the email? I think we're done in the chat here. Looks
we're in the email. We're done.
Okay.
I think there was one more in the
Friends of the Coin Show group.
Friends of.
Okay. See if you can find
that. Yeah. Okay. So grading question.
Okay.
I have a coin that is teetering between 2 grades. The lower grade has a $250 value. The higher grade moves this to $500 value. Would you submit it through the economy service of PCGS to lower the grading cost?
Yes.
Or use the regular service, given it could value above their $300 threshold? This happens regularly for me as I enjoy Buffalo Nickels and MS that seem to fall between $200 and $600. The true underlying question: do economy graders view the 2 grades and a coin that's in between, and are therefore more likely to round down in grade, or am I making up conspiracies?
So one of the things that I love to hear from the grading company when we send stuff in, it's 2 words. It's called tier bump. And a tier bump means that you sent in a coin that doesn't necessarily meet the tier that you had sent it in. and they're going to charge you a few extra dollars to cover that, which means that you're going with the higher grade. So we love getting calls about tier bumps. But yeah, no, I would just send it in the lower tier, and if they need to tier bump it because it goes a 4 or whatever, or a higher grade, the higher of the 2 grades, then definitely.
Sounds to me like that's a definite strategy. As if you do it, you can't lose. Like if you send it in at the higher tier.
Right. Yeah,
you could end up with a lesser grade coin for more money.
They would rather they would rather call you and say, "Hey, we're going to charge you a couple extra dollars to put this in this grade," than to just not grade it for you at all, which is the other option. Right. So
that's true.
Definitely just send it in that lower tier, and they'll either grade it the lower grade, or they'll tier bump it and give you a call. Or sometimes they'll grade it anyways and just not charge you for it. I've had them do that too. So
that's always nice.
But I think it's between the different graders. It doesn't matter. They all go through the same training, so I would not worry about who's looking at your coin.
Okay, so that's the questions that we have.
That was a bunch. I like that.
That was it was very engaged this week.
Oh, here's one more I see here, real quick. Steve Schubert asks, "Are you guys wearing pants?"
No,
I am, but apparently Mike isn't.
I'm not.
Okay.
Nope.
All right. Cool.
Always happy to answer.
All right. Well.
Alrighty then.
Should I play our your intro for this one?
My intro.
It's yours, buddy. This one is yours.
Yeah, only because you didn't show up. Well, I did you the favor of giving you a heads up.
He did. He fired a warning shot for me not to even bother, so I didn't.
This one is.
In all actuality, we started.
This one is. Don't bother, Jared. It just is.
We actually start our appointment only schedule this coming Thursday, so I'll start to get some coins again to put on the show. But I mean, we haven't been open in 2.5 months, so it's not like I've been sitting on stuff to do for the show. But let me go ahead and play your intro.
Hey Mike, what was the coolest thing that walked into your shop this week?
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Mike looks lost, guys.
Oh, there he is. Okay, woo. I thought I lost you for a second.
No, I was just waiting on you.
I had a bunch of things in my ear. That was okay. I thought I lost you for a second. Okay. I'm good. So, yeah. Hey, Mike, what was the coolest thing that walked into
my shop? Should I play it
shop?
again? And we could just, let's just try it again.
Hey, Mike, what was the coolest thing that walked into your shop this week?
Well, James, I'm glad you asked that because I have something spectacular. This is not just coolest thing territory. This is like one of the coolest things I have ever seen. And Matt, I want your impression of it.
All right, let's take a look at it. I didn't look at these. I just copy and pasted pictures, so I didn't get a good look.
Really,
at this.
You didn't look?
No, I saw. I mean, I knew what it was, but I didn't look at the pictures close. So why don't you tell everybody what we're looking at here?
Give me a second. I will give you a little piece for it. So
I can already tell you I like it.
This is an 1892 proof set for the ages. So in 1893, the World's Columbian Exhibition celebrated the 400th anniversary of the discovery of America and held a World's Fair in Chicago to showcase city planning, art, and technology. The 1893 World's Fair would become the first to showcase alternating current electricity. Another innovation given to us by the Columbian Exposition was that it was the first fair to separate exhibits from amusements. Amusements were held in a South Side public park named Midway Plaisance. And it is from that park that the term Midway was coined to describe the amusement areas at fairs to this day.
Huh, I didn't know that.
The United States Mint created several sets of proof coins to be sold at the fair, and it is interesting that at the time, proof coins were typically sold individually or in sets of the minor coins of cent, nickel, and dime, but a complete set of U.S. coins from cent through dollars was on display at the fair, and at the end of the fair, they were sold together. So this is that set. The set was acquired by a North Shore Chicago physician and remained in his family for decades. The set has been certified, graded, and encapsulated by PCGS, with the dollar coin being the finest known and other coins from the set earning the second finest rank.
Wow.
So each and every one of these coins has been verified by CAC And all 6 coins have a green CAC sticker to show it's correct for the grade.
So every coin in the set, cacked.
Every single one.
Wow. Rattle these. Do you know the grades offhand? Can you rattle them off
Yes,
for us?
they are graded as follows. The Morgan Dollar is proof 67 deep cam.
Wow, that's amazing.
And that is the top pop for that coin.
That's a beautiful coin.
The Barber half is proof 67 deep cam. The Barber quarter is proof 67 plus deep cam.
Wow, so almost a proof 68.
Yes.
Wow, this on the pictures are scrolling through here. So let's
Now the Barber dime.
Hold on, let's
proof
wait. Let's sit on the
68.
quarter for a second.
Okay, let's go. What?
Because it's the picture of the quarter is up right now. So this coin graded a proof 67 plus deep cam, right?
Correct.
Wow, it's pretty. It's got some kind of orangey blue toning. Pretty.
It is a beautiful coin. Every single one of these coins are just monsters.
And then the dime
And
graded.
so the dime is proof 68 cameo.
Wow.
Not deep cam. It's just a cameo. It's the only silver coin that didn't deep cam.
It's got some pretty
The Liberty-
color.
Oh, it does. And it is the, let's see, it is the dime, I want to say is the second finest.
Wow.
Yeah,
The V-nickel.
with the finest being a 68 plus.
Wow.
The Liberty nickel is proof 66 cam, and the Indian head set is a mere 66 red.
Just a 66 red.
Just a 66 red. It actually looks kind of cameo.
It's pretty.
It's got a lot of contrast on it. So, it's just one of those things where, first off, a lot of people think that just because something is old or rare or in incredible condition is worth a lot of money, and that's just not true. But this set has a combination of all 3 factors.
Wow.
And
Super
as such,
cool.
there is just an enormous amount of value, not only in the individual coins, but in the set as a whole. The condition of this particular set of 125-year-old coins rivals that of modern sets bought from the U.S. Mint.
For sure. Yeah, that's
so
nuts.
This set is not only one of the most stunning proof coins from the era, but one of the finest sets of U.S. proof coins in existence.
Oh, and the provenance. I mean, gee whiz. What a cool set to be on display at the expo and then sold to somebody that attended the expo.
And it was sold by a Chicago dealer. And to be honest with you, we've owned the set 4 times now.
Oh, my God. I love that stuff.
We've owned the set 4 times.
I always say in our shop when we sell quality stuff, I don't mind buying it back because it's quality stuff. I already know it's nice. I don't mind owning it again.
Here's something that was shared with me that really kind of it reinforced who I'm working for, and who I'm working for is a lot of reason of why I'm working there, right?
Right.
Because to me it was just a dream job to chase, but the thing that was imbued upon me at Burke was we want to sell our coins to collectors, not to just sell them.
Right.
Because when we put our coins with collectors, with good collectors that value us, when those coin collectors decide to get rid of them, they're coming back to us.
Right.
And we're going to get to sell them again. And every time we sell them, we're going to make some money. But the point is that they're high quality coins. They're easy to sell.
Sure. Heck yeah.
So you place them with people, you take good care of them, and, business is not a problem versus the people that I know that tend to rip people off, and they're always looking for the next deal to walk in the door.
Right. So what? How much is this set? I'm just curious.
This set sold because it sold.
Nice.
Let's see. It's listed on the Burke website. I think it was listed at 132.5.
Wow, that's a big coin. That's a big set.
Well, yeah, but it's the set, and it was not. None of the coins were for sale individually, and will not be.
Sure. Yeah. Oh, I don't.
So, in order to pull the set together, you had to kind of reach for that one.
That's a house, buddy.
Yes, it is. This is another guy with a few money.
Yeah. Right. Wow.
Yeah.
So if you guys don't fault me for not having anything tonight. A, because I don't really have anything, and B, because I was up against that. And he kind of clued me in on the super special secret Patreon podcast as to what I would become up against. So
I was like, here you go, buddy. Boom.
He dropped the mic on it. So literally dropped the mic on it.
Yeah. Drop the mic. The Mike Prince, the Mike Nodelman.
The mics.
So, yeah. Yeah, so it was just an absolutely amazing set. I had the coins. I first saw the coins before they went to CAC.
Did you drool on them, like literally?
Well, I looked at it, I was like, wow, these things. So I have a set of pictures of those in my phone
Nice.
that have them without the CAC stickers on them.
Cool. And were they just graded, or were they graded a while ago?
No, they've been graded for a long time, but they were brought to our shop to go to CAC.
Gotcha.
And when they all stickered, the guy decided to sell it.
Gotcha. I gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, you got to strike when the iron's hot, right?
Oh, for sure. I mean, that's, whenever we send something to get graded for somebody, if it's something that we like, we always have an offer ready when it comes back, even if they're not selling it. We always have an
absolutely.
offer. So,
hey, if nothing else, you're going to make them feel good about their coin.
Sure, 100%.
Yeah.
Well, that's beautiful. I love that set. I wish I could afford something like that. Not for me.
I mean, that's the thing is
I don't have that FU money. Remember,
this is the privilege that you and I get in the fact that we get to deal with this stuff. We get to handle it. Who wants to own it? I don't necessarily want to own it. I just want to hold it and look at it,
fondle it, play with it,
stare
at it, make appropriate
comments.
And
speaking of that word ogle, I've never really been a big word to use that word, but I've appreciated the use of it. So is Google really telling you to go ogle people?
Ooh, it's go look. Yeah, maybe.
Go ogle.
Maybe you figured out maybe the Illuminati is going to call you here shortly with your membership card or something. You just figured that one out. Well, sir, I think that's it. I think that's 161 in the books.
I think that's 161 in a can. I think that's it. So,
wow.
What do you got going on?
As far as what? As far as
coins, as far as the business, as far as anything.
Our schedule's full. Our schedule's full starting Thursday. Partially? Yeah, we're doing appointment only for 3 days during the week. The rest of the week we're going to stay closed until they lift everything.
That's exactly where we're at. Appointment only Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
We have a ton of appointments coming up, though. I'll tell you, our schedule is full. We've had people that have been just banging down the doors. We turned off all of our internet advertising when this first started because I didn't want to pay for advertising that I wasn't able to take advantage of. As far as
but everything's been going straight to voicemail.
Well, I mean, even as far as converting those phone calls into actual customers in the door. We turned it off, and our phone has still been blowing off the hooks. So we've started answering it at the beginning of this week. The internet advertising turns back on tomorrow morning.
There's some guy that's on the phone right now. He's been calling. He's been holding for the last. They're just busy. They're going to pick it up any minute now.
Yeah, we had a voicemail set up. We told them exactly what was going on. Our website was updated with everything like that, and so it's just been a pain in the butt, but I'm excited to get back to it. I'm excited to start seeing people that I haven't seen in 3 months, and excited to start.
And not so much coins. See the people that you've been seeing for the last 3 months.
I'm just excited to start buying some coins. I need to get my coin fix on, buddy. I've been jonesing. To look at some nice stuff.
Well, I mean, I actually got to do some work in the shop over the last couple of weeks, so I've been able to satisfy that fix.
Right.
I've made some new friends. I've made some new contacts today. I was dealing with somebody who supplies a lot of the home shopping network and things like that.
Oh yeah, those guys exist. I know quite a few of them.
They do. Yeah, they do.
They're always
hunting
buy
too. A lot of crap.
They're always hunting, and that's the other thing. That's the one thing I noticed too is that all of my dealer friends were some of the people that were blowing up my phone the most, trying to find live stuff because they still need stuff.
Just looking for stuff because they want to make money.
They need to
make a living.
Yeah, that's how they make their living. And I had to. And I mean, we have caller ID, so I would see them calling, and I'd be like, "Okay, yeah, sorry, I don't have anything." And okay, well, I just wanted to try because I could use some stuff right now. Well, you know what, buddy? We could all use stuff right now. Everybody needs stuff. So.
Well, I mean, it's like today I was dealing with a regular customer that we've had for a long time, and he's somebody who I deal with through email.
Sure.
And I was telling him, I've got plenty of stuff. It's like he's like, well, it's like I can't take it all. So if you got to sell it, I'm like, dude, I've got more inventory than I know what to do with. So trust me, it's like, the this stuff will hold. It's fine. I'll put it off to the side for you. It'll be fine when you get, in a couple of weeks. Everything will be okay. Don't worry about it. When people start banging the doors down, then I'll have something to worry about. But for right now, I don't have much business. So, the fact that you want them means they're sold.
Yep. Yeah, you might as well do business while you can, because it's hard right now. It sucks.
So I've got a new project started.
Okay.
And you're going to be seeing it relatively soon. We've got to wait for this COVID to go away because I need a haircut.
Yeah, bro. Look, me too. My wife was just saying, you look terrible. Thanks, babe.
Yeah, you cannot get. Hey, you look at your. No. So, no, so everybody is walking around with this long hair and half colored, and all this. It's really kind of funny that we're all sharing in that.
Yep.
But yeah, so I don't want to start recording things to put up on the internet forever that have me with COVID hair. It's like
COVID hair. Hashtag COVID hair. I like that. That's
hashtag
good.
COVID hair. So yeah.
Well,
but it's a segment called the Coin Minute.
Cool. That sounds fun.
Yeah,
like rapid fire.
It's just going to be one of those things like you hear on radio stations where it's like, I'm Mike Nodelman from the Coin Show and Harlan J. Burke, and this is your Coin Minute. You just kind of give it like that piece, the 1892 proof set was largely a part of the very first Coin Minute piece that I wrote.
Right.
That's why I had it. So I was like, here, let me read this to you because I think you'll enjoy the piece. So that'll be appearing on the Harlan J. Burke website. It'll be appearing on Roundtable TV, Roundtable Trading, and Coin Show website, Friends of the Coin Show. It'll be everywhere.
Huh, cool. I like it. I'm working on some stuff for the show that's super secret. I'm not going to tell you about it until it happens.
Okay.
So just put that in the back of your head.
Super secret stuff.
No, this is above even the patron podcast. Nobody except for me knows about this one.
Okay. Wow, I'm excited.
Yeah, it's coming. Might be a little bit.
If it's that level, I'm excited.
It's top tier goodness. I promise.
Sweet.
Yes.
Okay.
So, all right, dude. Well, let's wrap this sucker then. You want to thank a bunch of people?
Yeah, let's thank a bunch of people. Let's see. So, thanks to our listeners. Thanks to
lean forward.
The people who wrote to us. I'm sorry. Thanks to our listeners. Thanks to the people who wrote to us. The people that inspired us. That show up to our Facebook page. That do all the things that help keep us going. Thank you to the patrons.
Yes.
For everything that they do. Thank you to Justin Irvin. Sorry, and thank you to Ernesto Aguilar for doing our Facebook. There is a guest appearance coming up on the Learning to Deal web or podcast.
Ooh,
yeah,
right.
I appeared on I was actually somebody to somebody.
Go check Mike out on the Learning to Deal podcast.
Yeah, so that's coming out soon, and I've got some other projects in the works too, and Matt's got some other things, and we've got other collaborations that we're going to be working on, don't we, bud?
Nobody wants to work with me. I'm too difficult.
Yeah, I noticed that. Hey, you got a partner for life here. I'm your work wife. You better get used to that.
That's right.
All right, buddy. So for the Coin Show, I'm Mike.
And I'm Matt.
And we'll talk to you next time on the Coin Show.
At me, that it will not be forever.